to represent the continuation of our general discontinuity here on covertradio.com, we were going to give Brooke Fox the last segment, but it just turned into one giant sausage party. So, we are going to go ahead and give Brooke Fox this segment to talk to Libertarian candidate Keith Blandford about whatever the hell she wants, some liberal crap.
I'm sorry, Brooke. I wasn't paying any attention on my own show.
Okay. You chauvinist, misogynist pig.
That's something new?
I like a massage. Go on.
Shoot.
Can you explain how would a free market solve all of these problems that you're, kind of taking,
alluding to?
What? First, all these problems. Give me something.
No, it's okay. We put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I think but to give them a line item though, like say, all right, what is your free market solution to blah? And then I think that would be
okay. What is your free market solution to? I guess I keep going back to
Department of Education.
No,
I just want our kids to be smart.
No.
Did it move?
I got it. You're on. You're still on the air. You're fine. Hang on.
I mean, I haven't done a lot of research, so I will admit to not being up on all the facts and stuff. But
Oh, that's a good
Okay.
way. That's a good way to start your questioning. I have no idea what I'm talking
No,
about.
at least she's honest though. It's not like the media where they're like, we have no idea what we're talking about, but we're going to go ahead and tell
Let's
you
move
anyway.
along here. Let's move
No,
along.
this is Brooks, and I forgot. My sisters are listening. They're going to kill me already. Go ahead, Brooke.
it just seems to me that the kind of whole, the free market will kind of solve the problems of the country being in over its head financially and other things like that. But it seems like it's always going to leave the poor people out. The people who are either born poor, because you made a comment to me at the that Monday thing. Forum, yes.
Yeah.
Which
Lance Morrison, everybody.
when you made the comment, it kind of just I was taken aback at that
Sometimes
time.
it's going to happen when you're honest.
Yeah, and
Whoa. Just gonna go ahead and leave the room. I'm taking it back right there. Yeah.
And I thought about it more afterwards when I said I made my comment about how the state of South Carolina politicians scare me, and you said you'd asked me where I was from. I said I'm from Maryland, and so basically it said, why don't I move?
That's right.
Which, what about all the people who are born here,
Right.
who are poor, can't afford to move across the street?
Okay.
To tell them to move because they don't, agree with just what you're saying, or just kind of the whole free market thing. How's that going to help them?
Well, okay, let's start up with first. There's a weird paradox there in America where everybody's equal and everybody has the ability to compete and do well, and we're all the same, but yet there's these people who are inadequate and they can't compete, so we got to help them. I've never really understood how that's reconciled in people's minds. So if we're all the same, then why are these people who can't compete and we have to treat them like special people? I never understood that one. And as far as the free market solution goes, how's the government doing so far? Our office is actually dead downtown in the east side, and I've been there for 6-7 years now, and nothing's changed. If anything, now because of the decline in our economy, I'm unable. I hired people. I hired the locals around that area to help us and work construction, and they don't have a job now. So for me to think that we as a government are going to help people out, no, it's a failure. It doesn't work. So what we have to define is the difference between government and society. Where is that line? Because anything that our government gets involved in,
are you lumping in the state government too with that? Because it seems like
our
you
states
talk about the federal
absolutely.
government, and it's like I feel like the states. You talk about states' rights, and
Right.
it just seems like
I
just
agree.
the state takes on all this stuff, which would be just the same thing. It would happen. But
you see what you're saying. This is a fundamental argument about our country: the centralization of power versus the different sovereign states. That's a real fundamental argument. And usually I found that people sit on one side of the fence or the other. For me, what I like to do and try to keep it impersonal is how did the government do in that process? How's it working out? Because as an environmental scientist, what's the first thing that I think of? Environmental policy.
Al Gore.
Who's the biggest polluter in the world?
Al Gore.
The United States federal government. And
I'll
we're
discover
asking
the end
the
of that.
biggest polluter in the world to tell us how to not pollute. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If you used private property, then people would have a vested interest to take care of their own property, but the government does not. So, one of the things that I think is the clarification for your question about people who are poor and incapable of taking care of themselves, it's not the government's job to do anything about it. It's society's job. And we need to draw that line. We have to fundamentally rethink about what we think government should do. Because anytime government gets involved, it usually fails. Why do they fail so miserably in a BB thing, like the oil spill? It's not their job. And they're saying that they can do all this stuff all over the place, and they can't.
But people are expecting them to solve it too.
That's the problem. That's the problem. So you
Yes,
return these things to us as a people. It's our responsibility. But everybody's so divided, and I'm this, and I'm that, and I'm not going to do anything. Do you think, look at the Republicans and the Democrats over the BP spill. Look at them. They don't care what they're doing to the Gulf of Mexico or to the people. One guy wants to nail him with Katrina, and the other guy wants to make sure that he doesn't nail him with Katrina. That's all they care about. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Brooke, call on Lance.
Yeah, Lance.
I'm a middle-aged, middle-class white guy, Mr. Candidate.
No, you're low class. Thank
Who's
you.
going to save me? That's what I want to know. Who's going to save
How the hell are
me?
you?
That's right there.
There are people like me carrying this country on their backs, and guess what? At the end of the day, no one gives a crap about us whatsoever.
Well, one of the things that I look at is, who isn't? Everybody's getting up in the morning and facing life as best they can. And who's going to take care of us, me, or him? Yeah, me.
Oh God, someone's got to take care of this guy.
Yeah.
It's
Will you please take care of him?
I think that's the
I
biggest
know
thing.
the
If
libertarian.
you look at us, if you look at our platform and what we're talking about, it's personal. You take responsibility for your own life because nobody else is going to
That's
do it for
right.
you. Nobody.
We seem to be coming from two different directions on this.
Weird.
What you're arguing over is the concept of equality of opportunity as opposed to equality of results. And the only way you can get equality of results is to fix the game. That's the only way you can do it.
That's right.
It's the only way you can do it. Some people are going to win, some people are going to lose. But when we say people lose, that doesn't mean we take them out in the back and we shoot them. Look, I've screwed up plenty in my lifetime, and let me tell you, and I've dealt with them on my own, and I've gotten through them, and everybody does. But you have to at some point decide what kind of country do you want to have. Do you want to have equality of opportunity, or do you want to have equality of results? Because one is free and one isn't.
When you talk about the coming together as let the society
Right.
deal with a lot of the issues that
Right.
the federal government deals with now,
Right.
how do you see that working with
It's
all
worked
the
a lot
different?
longer in this country than it hasn't. If you look at our history, we as a society did a lot more than we have done with this big government, by far. That's one of the things that impressed Europe the most about the United States is that we did things together, independently. We came together and we formed the Rotary Club, or we found ways to pick up the litter. We did things on our own. So if you look at our historical precedent, this country is far more society-oriented than we are government. Far more.
All right, we're going to have to cut it off right there. This is CulpitRadio.com Live. We'll be back with more with Keith Blandford, and keep him in the crossfire.
Brooke, that was wonderful.
You did a very good job.
Let's hear it for Brooke, everybody.
Yeah, Brooke.